Hey everybody, it's Jeremy Osterberger with Big Magazine. Today I'm joined by Kevin Turpin. Kevin is CEO and founder of Weevix. It's the next generation of frontline radio communications. Hey Kevin, I'm so glad to hang out with you. How you been?
Hey, great, man. It's good to see you, Jeremy.
Absolutely, man. Everything's well in Wichita?
Oh yeah, everything's doing good. It's just getting cold again, but you know how that's just time of year.
It's that time of year, man. Well, I hope you and your family are doing well. And Kevin, thanks for jumping on with us. We're talking radio communications in industrial settings. And Kevin, for folks that don't know what Weavix is, let's jump right into it, man. What is the platform and what is the need for this platform?
Sure. Yeah. Weavix came about, obviously my past of starting multiple companies. I've worked with a lot of frontline workers and obviously had a bunch of companies with frontline workers. And Weavix was really about trying to figure out how do we actually get communication down to the frontline worker, right? It seems like they go home every night, they have a smartphone in their pocket, and then when they come to work, all they have is hard hat and safety glasses and boots. And it's to us, we never really have learned the way of trusting and getting that information and communication all the way down to the front line. So with that being said, we have, even with the thousands of workers that we have internally with our other service companies with PK, Weavix came about of learning about how do we actually figure out how to let them communicate. And with that being said, Weavix was a platform to kind of melt it together. I give the example of kind of like home automation, right?
Mm-hmm.
We went from not being able to do anything off our smartphones or see any in data or any information, and now can turn our lights on and off from our phone. We can make sure that things are safe if we left, if our garage is shut. A lot of different things that go about a platform that allow you to do things very remotely. And so, with that being said, I noticed that the radio communication, for ones that use radios right now that are listening will understand this, and ones that don't, I'll kind of get to that. But for the ones that are using radio communication now, that technology hasn't changed since forever. Now, there might be some, existing people out there that say, hey, yeah, we've made changes in technology of radio and so forth, but not really. We needed a BlackBerry to smartphone moment from a radio to a smart radio moment, right? So what we did was we said, how do we get this communication to get trust and get really the frontline worker to get a device, and for the enterprise to believe that device brings value? So Weavix came about, really had to make sure that the platform allowed for safety, for integration of communication, and also bringing it to connect every worker. So that's the concept of what we're doing, and what that allows you to do is use your personal phone as a radio, or use a company phone as a radio. And then also we created Walt, our smart radio, and the demeanor behind that is making sure that it's affordable, and we call it disposable. So really taking the hardware cost out of it and moving into where the enterprise goes, you know what, this is affordable to allow to give to every worker, no matter who or what you are, because they're all important. And let's start communicating and capturing value and getting feedback, and also alerts and notifications and safety, but make it very easy. So that's kind of high level, right, Jeremy, on what our goal was. But it's really to gather data and also allow communication between workers and other different companies to communicate. So we're super stoked with it. It's been fun.
So Kevin, kind of before you began this journey, give me some of the pain points in industrial communications that led to this endeavor. You talked about, your own field workers out there and your other company, PK, right? And I'm sure that some of your clients and customers on that side of your business as well, you saw it, right? What were some of those major pain points?
That's a great question. So just basically from starting the companies, I've worked in the field for, 20 years and got to experience the feeling of what it's like to not be productive. And I didn't choose that, right? Sometimes the business processes don't allow me to be productive because I don't know how to get authority from something in a facility or a factory or a location. So what I noticed really quickly was, radios are only given to upper management, right? And they manage multiple people, but it's only like about 10%, if I was just to give a high level of a person that's communicating to the facility and representing the other 90% of people. And what that allows that to do is creates a lot of inefficiencies. And those inefficiencies are because, we can't speak for ourselves. We also can't communicate back to others to help make sure a business process might be wrong. So what I experienced is, as I got a radio, I had a plant radio on one side and I had my radio with my company on the other side. And this radio is, from anywhere from $600 to $2,200, right? And I have two mic booms and no channel was specific to anybody I could talk to. And I can't take my phone in the plant. And so you can imagine with having a group of, call it 30, employees, and those employees allow us to, not be able to communicate or talk or do anything different. So one of the deals that I said was like, gosh, we got to get data and the information of communication, because the people doing the work, they're the ones that give the good feedback, right? And I know people listening right now are going to go, oh man, I just imagine what all this feedback would be. It might be negative. It might be positive. Who knows? It's not working out like that. They understand their business. They want to do a great job. I realized really quickly that if we don't get communication down to that front line, we never are going to get right information, accurate information to keep everybody safe, excuse me, and also move into the next era of technology for our frontline field. So the pains are the lack of devices for people and the lack of technology and platform to manage people.
So Kevin, tell us more about the Walt Smart Radio feature and benefits.
Yeah, that's the magic of all of this too, right? So as I mentioned before, just as noticing the problem with communication in the field, we had to figure out a way to get a affordable device that what we call disposable, meaning that if they break it, it's not a big deal, right? The organization itself, basically would worry about cost. And so that's the reason why we had a lot of problems with getting this, information or actually technology down into the frontline workforce. Is if you have a $2,200 device and you have 3,000 employees, I mean, that's pretty expensive to be, relying on that down on the front line. So we haven't learned any data or any information of communication between all of our workforce. And so why the Walt radio was built was, and the number one thing in mind we had and myself was, this thing has to be very affordable, but very powerful. So it's got to be IP68, class 1 div 2, ATEX zone 2, IECX, all the things that you have to be compliant in a hazardous environment. But also affordable to make sure that device can be replaced. So what we did was we actually created a way not only of building our own device from a chip down design. We went through all of it with our engineers and everything to make sure that this came in at a very affordable rate. But we have a thing called WeCare, and WeCare allows for the customer not only to pay a monthly fee and get a device along with the technology, but also gives replacement as well. So the neat thing, it's kind of an insurance, right? So obviously, we can't just have them being stolen out there and so forth. So we have some little bit of stipulations around that. But hey, if a man or a woman is working and they're working really hard and it breaks, and they can return that device, and we'll return and give them a new device. So Walt Radio is really cool on how it's functioned. Not only of cost and affordability, it's really about functionality. So with that said, basically it has touch buttons on the face of it, so you can actually use gloves and so forth. So that's been it's a big place of Walt.
Yeah, that's interesting. And what about submersibility? Can you drop the thing in water, Kevin?
Oh yeah. Yeah, so it's IP68 rated. If you go do a Google search on IP68, it'll show it can go up to 1 meter, which is 3 feet, for 30 minutes. So it can be fully submerged in water. Again, that's the durability test, right, that we have to try to build a device that doesn't break for a person that's in the frontline service. And even the other durability of, from dust and just durability from the glass and non-shatterproof stuff and all the things are in it. So yeah, the thing is just robust, but also super affordable.
Hey, Kevin, you give that thing to my 5-year-old, you can do a true durability test on it.
Hey, you know what? They're the best. They're the best testing criteria out there, right?
That's right,
so
man.
we'll have to try that even more and more.
5-year-old certified. Okay, man. So look, let's get into some competition. I mean, how does the Walt differentiate itself from maybe some other competitive products? You mentioned some of those benefits. Anything else you want to add in that regard?
Yeah, I do. The traditional radio market comes from what we call, a CapEx buying, right? So basically they go out and you buy your radio, you buy all your accessories, you're responsible for everything that breaks, you're responsible for everything that goes on with that. You might have a maintenance fee that's charged, on a monthly or annual basis that allows the system to keep up and running. And so what makes us different is not only of our affordability of our devices and our system, but ours is really a monthly fee per person. And so what we've done is we've allowed it to take out the hardware as a huge CapEx expense, and we move it into an OpEx expense. So what that allows us to do is obviously what we call a MSP. And that managed service provider, which is an MSP, allows us then to, just like what you do with anything normally in your lives, how you pay your cable, at your house, or how you pay your water bill, or how that works is you are just paying a monthly fee for the use of that device, and we provide you the device. So now, and I want to add one more thing is for ones that are out there that say, oh, I can't do an OpEx, I need to do a CapEx. We do have a CapEx option that allows you very flexible way, and still can get WeCare and built inside of that too. So I would say that where we are dominating in the competition realm is it has to be affordable price to allow us to get 5 to 6 times the amount of devices out there. And then the Weevix platform allows everything to connect everything together.
And that platform, Kevin, how intuitive is that? And if I'm managing these assets, is there some built-in assistance on that? I would think, man, like you said, you're handing out up to 100, 200, 300, 400 of these Walts out in the field. Talk a little bit about that. How do you maintain these assets?
Yeah, it's got to be easy to use, right? It's got to, and it doesn't have to be reliant on the Weevix or a person to be a consultant to have to come in and run this thing. So it's exactly like I mentioned before, very easy access platform, allows you to do a lot of workflows on the back end. So you can just drag and drop. You can choose and do anything that you need to do inside of the back of the admin portal. It has an automatic, device management piece in it that allows you to see all devices that are active. We have a strict policy within our Weevix platform that is only about the traceability of people when they're on site, when they're at the work for their safety. And so we have a perimeter geofencing, multi-geofencing. We also have safety alerts and mass alert notification. So lightning alerts, all types of things that the owner would want to notify real time to people, or you can actually do it per location and area. So you can signify and not shut down your whole entire crew. So the neat part about the platform it's been built by people that understand this business, right? Yeah. It's got to be ran in multiple areas and locations. Also allows an additional contractors. So for owners listening out there, that you can actually put a whole platform, which we call our global directory. So when you come on site, we know all contractors and people as of a facility of who's on site, their craft, the people, and allows them to communicate. So it's fast access of data and communication and safety for the worker and the enterprise.
Oh, that's cool, Kevin. All right, so I wanted to try this thing out. Kevin, tell me about your policy. Is there a demo? Do you guys doing on-site demos? How does someone really get their hands on this thing?
Sure. Right. Reach out to our site, at weavix.com. We also can, any of our social media that, LinkedIn, we run a lot of stuff all across the BIC platform. We're always pushing things through just to get notification, as BIC is a great partner with us as well. So one of the things that we do is if you go into any of the links that you see, it's called free radio. And I know a lot of people go, oh my gosh, what's a free radio? Literally, it's a free radio, right? We're running it as a price for the software that runs on the actual radio itself. So we bake that into the price with also the insurance piece, 1 to 3 year deals. But if you want to get a hold of it, go to the site, sign up for the POC, right? Proof of concept. And what you'll do is you'll get in touch with a couple of our wonderful AEs, which are account executives, that'll actually get you set up. We have within us, we have it mandatory that you receive out within 24 hours, at least shipped, depending on where you're at in the world, right? Shipped out a POC box, and the POC box will come with 5 Walts. It'll come with a charger, which we call Wrangler. Wrangles them all up. And then we also have some things in there as well to learn about that. And what we want to do is we want to get this out to people. And our goal is for that to never come back, right? For you to use it, understand the platform. And then our customer success group will definitely work with you on any questions that you might have. It's very intuitive, but we also like for you to fire it up yourself, get moving and going. And then our customer success group will help you run through a couple things, and then you'll be off and running. So it'll be, and I can talk about some examples of that too, if you want me to, but it's pretty.
No, man, go ahead. Quickly cover 1 or 2 if you would. I think it's great.
Yeah. So a good example was, just even this last week, it makes me happy to see, that we're now starting to um, include that frontline workforce. And basically our mission is to really basically understand data, right? Data is a very crucial to growth and organization for all these organizations to be profitable, but not only keep people safe. And if you can think about if people don't have any devices on them, they have to have a device that makes them where they want to use that daily and they become a part of something. They be part of the family or the company that they work for, even the organization and the facility. So one of the things that we've really pushed hard for is to make sure that that data that none of the industry really knows about is very open and logic in the way of how you can use it. So one of the examples was we have a factory that basically is they make every glass in the world. It's a great company. They have over 40, I think it's like 35 different facilities and sites, and they were a little hesitant at first. They were like, man, we have all these employees and we build glass and cut glass and do all things all over the country. And I was like, you have to understand the value of your workforce. And if you don't understand that value and get that loyalty built up with them, you're never going to learn or actually optimize and move, and grow, right? Quicker and faster and smarter and safer. And so one of the examples was they said, you know what, we're going to try it. We're going to try the POC. We're going to move into this. And the first week that they were on it, we were getting, obviously emails back like, oh my gosh, the difference of what knowing of data from our front line and giving us, examples and certain things that are making their lives easier, not only makes them happier, right, which is a better worker, it gave us data back to change our work process. A good example was, Walt will take a video. So Walt does a P3 aspect from push to talk, push to message, and it dictates all of that along with push to video. And one of the videos that they had shared with us was, they have these robotic machines that move around the floor and they're trying to get everything moved from material handling. And, one of the videos was a guy going, hey, boss, the thing, it's not working. The device is sitting here. It's beeping. Boom, instantly comes back, says, hold down the button, 4 seconds, reset the machine and get it going. He was up and running within, 10 seconds. That would have been an outage, right? That people would have stopped, things would have happened and done it. And I'm only giving a minor detail of that, of how that got going. But then on the to end this all, because I could talk forever, is the factor that how happy people are. They're making, they're cracking jokes, they're having fun, they're talking back and forth because they're actually feeling like they're a part of an organization. And I think that is key to everybody out there that would be listening to this saying, you know what? The people, no matter who you are in an organization, you're important. And whenever you have things that allow people to understand their voice turns from negative to positive. And I think it's a very, very high message that people need to understand that if you can get into something, learn your people, you will definitely be more successful than you are today. So.
Kevin, a great case study, and I think that people consuming this information and watching this video or listening are going to think, hey, man, on my maintenance project, next turnaround, my CapEx project, or maybe just existing operations, there's got to be some value in what's being described here. And I really like the angle from, the employee satisfaction and the ability to communicate more clearly helps with that satisfaction is an interesting angle.
Yeah, no, it's good. And I think I can't express enough on how much we have to really make sure that we are growing our workforce, right? Our workforce is coming from a new generation, which is fantastic. They have a different way of thinking and doing and solving problems, but also merging with older generation. And so right. Which catches on quick. So very important piece that I'm out to solve and top to help, but also make the enterprise a benefit as well. So.
Well, Kevin, thanks, man. Thanks for you and the team to advancing industrial communication technology. Really, really appreciate you jumping on, Kevin.
Yeah. Hey, appreciate everything and what Big does for us. I mean, it's great to watch you guys growing and making a bunch of moves. So thanks for everything you guys do. And we appreciate having you be a partner as well.
Absolutely, Kevin. Thank you. Hey, for anyone watching, if you'd like more information, you can visit weavix.com. That's WEAVIX.com. Hey, also check out The Thread. It's a video series on weavix.com. You can also find it on YouTube, furthering the conversation about industrial communications. As always, for all of you watching, visit bicmagazine.com for more news, videos, stories, and podcasts. And remember, everybody, it's what we do together that counts.